You're already thinking about those things, and for us the obvious ones are, of course, the ability to respond to an emergency that we might encounter. So a fire, a depressurization, or a toxic chemical release into our environment. So how do we protect ourselves from that? How do we respond to that? How do we safe the system? And if necessary, how do we safely get back to our vehicle that will take us away from there? So all of those things I know you're already thinking about. We have things as simple as, glow-in-the-dark dots that tell us which direction to go if all the power went out to get to our safety vehicle. So there's all different levels of those kinds of safety measures. As well, of course, redundancy in all of our critical systems. So command and control, obviously the life support system will be especially critical, and that will include the ability to recycle the air and the water, of course. All of those things are safety critical. And I would add on to that, in terms of what we do every day, the ability to exercise and to stay healthy is really important to the crew, as well as to be able to respond to medical emergencies.
Great. Thank you, Megan. As you can imagine, safety is our #1 concern, and we're doing a great job to build Halo and keep you guys safe, but also make it a comfortable place for you to work and live. So next up, we have Sally Richardson, and Sally is the Halo Program Director, and she's leading this great team of folks. Sally?
Thanks, Megan, and thank you, Thomas, for taking the time to answer all of our Halo design team questions. This is great. So we also got a number of questions from our Twitter feed, and we have a couple of social media questions that we wanted to pose today. So one question is from Steve Goyet, and he's asking about windows on Halo. And we had one from Swarupa from Mumbai on how similar Gateway will be to ISS. So I'm going to answer those questions first, and then I have a question for the crew. So Halo is based on Northrop Grumman's Cygnus module, and it's currently designed to use with ISS. It's about the size of a small studio apartment. So it doesn't have windows right now except in the hatches, but we will be getting a cupola-like module that does have windows coming up and being supplied by ESA, Thomas. And that will dock with one of Halo's radial ports. So, but within the smaller design, my question to the crew is going to be, how do we prioritize space utilization for your self-care, for performing experiments? Even though Gateway will not be occupied year-round, it's still important that we really provide you with safe and useful accommodations, and that we provide standard self-care utilities. So what significant considerations would you consider that we have on our priority list as we're laying out our internal design?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. It's a great concern to have. I would think, I know Halo is not going to be huge, but I think if you can have in mind to try and separate the different areas based on which utilization you're making of them, it's not great to have everything at the same place. If you're going to exercise, sleep, work, live in the same 2 meter square, like everybody's getting in everybody's way, and you're missing that privacy sometimes that Megan said was important before, and I agree. So, for example, what we don't have here up on the ISS is a real shower area, hygiene area, so we kind of make do with what we have, but it would be nice to have an area that's dedicated to this, in which you can leave your stuff, and then in which you wouldn't care about droplets floating everywhere. So I think if you manage to somehow in that small volume kind of separate and dedicate some areas to the different uses that are being made, I think it's going to go a long way as far as ease of use and crew morale.
Okay, thank you for that. So I understand we have time for one more question, so I'm going to pass it over to Staten to follow up.
Hi again. So bonus question, what are the biggest challenges when working with payloads